The Leafs lose 2 in a week that was quite unfortunate. Just when the Leafs were starting to show promise. On the bright side, Reimer's back. I just straight up hate the Bruins. No punchline here, just go. Alright, let's talk hockey. Leafs win 5-2 over the Anaheim Ducks on a rare Sunday game. Wait, didn't I say that last week? This season's weird. Scoring for Toronto was Tyler Bozak with 2, Clark MacArthur, Joey Crabb, and Luke Shen. Scoring for Anaheim was the man who opened the scoring, Francois Beauchemin. Hey, remember him? And Corey Perry. This was just a straight up domination game by the Leafs. They just controlled it from start to finish. So many positives here, we're just gonna run through them fast and furious. Not gonna lie, want to spend as little time as possible on this video and you're about to see why. With this game, Jonas Gustafsson grabs his 4th straight victory. Yep, I'd say he's the sole backup now. But Scrivens in his call put up some decent numbers, nice to know for the future. Lupo got 2 assists in this game, putting him in a tie with Johnny Taves for the most points in November and tying him for 2nd overall in the NHL scoring race with Claude Giroux. Seriously, this guy's just cartoonish good. Jake Gardiner, already with an eye-popping rookie campaign, adds to it, playing the most minutes of any Leaf in this game. He logs an absolutely amazing 25 minutes and 15 seconds. From a guy who people thought wouldn't make the team to the team's ice time leader? Just give him the Calder now. And unfortunately, there was a negative. Both Carl Gunnarsson and Dave Steckel had to miss this game with hand injuries, stemming to the game in Dallas where they both took a shot off their hands. And this just got stupid. They become our 9th and 10th players to miss at least one game in November. Keith Ollie stepped up to fill in for Carl Gunnarsson, making the trip to St. John's where he was playing with the Marlies, all the way to Anaheim. Didn't look too bad out there. Ending this on a positive, did anyone notice that was Joey Crabb's 3rd consecutive game with a goal? True story, bro. Hey, moving on, the Leafs lose at home to Boston 6-3. And we dive headlong into the awful. Scoring for the Bruins, Milan Lucic with 2, David Krejci, Zdeno Chara, Benoit Pouliot, and Brad Marchand with an empty netter. And scoring for the Leafs, Mikhail Grabovski, Joffrey Lupul, and a man who's all of a sudden having a much improved rookie campaign, Matt Fratton. And in spite of the score, this game was actually a lot closer than it was on the scoreboard. The Leafs actually scored first in this one, with Mikhail Grabovski slipping one past Timmy Thomas 7.5 minutes in. And I gotta say, Grabo must really like playing the Bruins. He's gotta be the only one in that dressing room. Seriously though, he always seems to have a good game ready for them. Scoring in this one? Or that time he got concussed by Zdeno Chara but came back and scored the winning goal in that game? Okay, maybe those two aren't good examples to compare. Anyway, back to the game, the Bruins just answered back and kept their defense tight throughout the rest of the game. The Leafs managed to keep it close until the end of the 3rd, when Lucic scores the 2nd of the game to put the Bees up 5-3, and I'm sure you can deduce the rest. To give you an example of the kind of frenzied pace in this game, Toronto had 37 shots on goal, while the Bruins had 40! Gus just couldn't keep up. It's almost unfair how ridiculously good Tim Thomas is. No, scratch that. It's definitely unfair how ridiculously good Tim Thomas is. On the bright side, Gunnarsson and Steckel made it back from their one-game hand injury. Yay! Not really. Joey Crabb kept his point streak going? But seriously, Boston is unstoppable as they cap off a November that was extremely kind of them, winning 12 of the 13 games they played that month. In fact, they didn't lose in regulation at all in the month of November, their only loss coming in a shootout against Detroit. They're just a juggernaut right now. Moving on Friday the Leafs received more bad news as checking forward and mustache guru Mike Brown underwent surgery to repair a disc in his back. He's expected to miss 6 weeks, which isn't necessarily a bad thing considering the way some of his call-ups have been playing. But it's never good news to see a starter go down for an extended period of time, especially for a team that could really use a break on the injury front. And that break came on Saturday as Ron Wilson made a surprise game time switch, bringing back James Reimer as a starter in the game he was expected to be a backup. But it wouldn't matter since the Leafs lose their second of their home-and-home 4-1 against the Boston Bruins. Okay, now it's just getting silly. Boston's goal scorers are David Krejci, Chris Kelly, Johnny Boychuk, and Nathan Horton. For Toronto, guess who? Mikhail Grabovski! I just wanted to make a quick note about the goalies. James Reimer is making his return from injury in probably what is one of the hardest buildings in the league to do that. Especially when the Bruins are on the top of their game. I mean, just look at what that building did to Roberto Luongo. But he hangs tough with Tuukka Rask through most of it, as this game really only came apart in the third. And after the game, James Reimer was really down on himself, partly blaming himself for the loss, saying he was outplayed by his Boston counterpart. Really? Because you're coming back from an 18-game absence, you're facing a team that hasn't lost in regulation since October, you face 30 shots, whereas the Leafs only muster 22 in reply, and you're getting down on yourself because of that? And unfortunately for Reimer and all the other boys in blue, this was the first of 2 father-son games as the Leaf dads had to watch their boys fall to the defending Stanley Cup champs. But guys, I know these guys are the Stanley Cup champs. I know they're supposed to beat us. I know they have the best goalie in the league right now, but please, can someone figure out how to beat them already? I mean, just once this season. It can be my Christmas and birthday gift combined. I mean, there's not really much you can say about this game. The Bruins just outplayed the Leafs, and now they're winners of 13 of their last 14 games. Good for you, Boston. I hate your guts. And now to end this negative blog with a positive, since I ended last week's positive blog with a negative, I like to keep you on your toes like that. With an assist in this one, Joey Crabbe has now extended his point streak to 5 games. Hey now, that deserves some credit. Good to see this guy making waves when he's got the chance. Part of that great blue and white depth. Anyway, that's it. That's all I can stomach this week. Let's get back on the win column next week. I'll see you then. As always, go Leafs go.